Hello, everybody! Hope you're all doing well. One moment, I gotta get my game to actually be a game for a second. Boop, there it is. Almost like I know what I'm doing. So, welcome back, everyone. Apologies for yesterday. Yeah, just the entire infrastructure of our ISP was just had an issue going on, and it took till quite literally this morning for it all to finally be sorted out. So, yeah, that's why stream was canceled. Which, I mean, understandable. There's literally no actual internet happening. But all resolved, and everything is hunky-dory, good to go again. Also, the schedule has been updated for this week because I didn't had to. Something's changed. My work week changed. Just because my manager's one manager that makes the schedule saw she accidentally had put me on for 10 days in a row, and it's just like, sorry, do you want tomorrow off instead instead of later? So, of course I was going to say yes, please. So, yeah, I'll go into more of that toward the end of stream. But just, oh, yeah, so you guys can't even hear the game right now. There we go. Now you can. Yeah, but I'll go into that toward the end of stream. I'll end off stream. But just know the schedule for this week has changed. Just this week, though. And even then, it's not really that big of a change. It's just 2 days playing different things at different times. That's it. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, everything is going smoothly as can be right now, which is awesome. And I'm extra happy because now I'm on my 2 days off now instead of after tomorrow. Your boy's tired. I'll be honest, your boy he's tired. But that is what it is. Hey, job's a job. Still gonna get paid. Gonna be good money. Not decent money. It's money. But enough about that stuff, because I know you guys probably don't really care too much about that. What you guys are here for is the game. And the game today, Fruit of Grisaia. Again, as always. Well, not as always, because I'm always rotating games. So I just lied to you. Good job, me. Anyway, we're continuing with Fruit of Grisaia today. As you can quite plainly see and hear, we're continuing on in the Yumiko route, the final route of the game. Hallelujah! This has taken a long time. This game has taken so long. Also, God, these keep rolling. These things the edges of these have always rolled. I don't know why, so I just kind of get used to them being rolled up. Until I had my friend quite literally roll them down for me. Just literally, just out of nowhere. I just forgot and gotten so used to it. It was back when it was at Anime North. Friend Jen, you've seen her in the chat quite a few times. Literally just unrolled them for me. Clearly it was bothering her. I just got so used to it, I gave up. So yeah, we're continuing with Fruit of Grisaia, obviously. Continuing the Yumiko route. Recap of where we left off last time. Yuji has been continually fending off more and more kidnapping attempts. Yeah, literally coming every day. At the same time. And it was getting boring. Eventually, Yumiko went missing because the girls kidnapped her. Just a question, what the fuck is he doing? What the hell is going on, kind of thing. And, I mean, he just straight up said, okay, I'm being hired to be your bodyguard. That's all that's happening. Okay, you happy? And, well, they were, even though they left Yumiko tied to a chair. But because of the continually fending off all of these planned attacks, Yumiko's father was getting a little pissed that, you know, Yuji was too good at his job? So he had Ichigaya take him off of, you know, working the Yumiko case or whatever, the Yumiko job. But right after Yuji told Sakaki this, what does she go ahead and do? I'm just gonna hire you anyway. I'll hire you myself. You're my private bodyguard now. You're not assigned to me. You're just my bodyguard. I'm the one giving you the checks now, so, yeah, continue doing what you're doing. Just kind of a good old, big old fuck you to, you know, Mr. Yumiko there. Yeah. From Sakaki. I don't know who the fuck his last name is. It's probably, yeah, it's probably Sakaki. Did I put Sakaki in the title? Yeah, I did. It's definitely Sakaki then. Yeah, just a big old fuck you to him. And we're just gonna kind of pick up right there from where we left off. Get kind of as far as we can. See what happens. See what pure insanity awaits us. Because we're always gonna get pure insanity. I mean, we started off fairly quick with this. With the kidnapping attempts. Where it can go from here, I don't know. Seeing the other routes, we know what they've had, so expectations are kind of high on what the fuck to expect. Anyway, enough of, you know, me talking for no reason. Enough dwelling on that. Yeah, I'm about to time in. Yep, perfect. Let's just load up the save, continue on, and... Motherfucker, it's literally been a year since I finished fucking... Are you kidding me? It's been no, sorry, it's been over a year now since I finished fucking Michiru's route. Are you kidding me? It's been over a year. Because there's the last save I made for that. I finished it that day. Yeah, look at that. June 27th, 2022, at about a little after noon. And my last save for this was June 17th, 2023, a little before noon. So it's taken us well over a year at this point. But that's fine. It's all good. There was just a lot to this game. And I still have so many more after this because, yeah. Also, Steam sale happened, and I looked at the Grisaia collection they have. It has the 3 games I already have, plus 3 more smaller kind of expansions. That ended up costing $10, so I just said, alright, fine, I'll get it. So now I have more Grisaia. Which I believe I can only technically play after I play other games. I think one of them I can play immediately after this one. I'll have to look it up and also double check with people. But we'll see. So yeah, I got even more Grisaia inside my Steam library. So, yeah, that's fun. Anyway, now I've definitely delayed long enough. Let's just load this sucker up and see where it takes us. So here we go. I gotta learn there's always that. I need to learn that there's always gonna be that prompt to say, yeah, you wanna load it? Alright. It's been several days since I came into Sakaki's employ. Strangely enough, they've been largely peaceful. And that confused encounter immediately after she hired me was the last time those people tried anything. Oh yeah, because now I believe Ichigai is completely out. And now they're kind of replanning what to do, and I think they're moving up to potentially even lethal force if they want to get her next time. So, yeah, that's a problem. Because we're getting a lot of cutaways to Sakaki's dad. It is weird. I want her to, you know, become more out there and get out of her shell and stop being a recluse by having her get thrown into the real world and immediately see the dangers of the real outside world. Yeah, that'll get her out of her shell, alright. Fucking idiot. It's such half-ass backwards logic. If anything, that's just gonna make her want to stay inside even more. But whatever, what do I know? I'm just someone who has logic. And that doesn't mean they've given up, of course. More likely, they've withdrawn for the moment to prepare a more decisive move. I can afford to be a little less vigilant, but I'm careful not to let my guard down entirely. Oh, back to Yuji awkwardly, like, leaning at this hill. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, why? Dude, it's not that steep of a hill. Why are you, like, JoJo posing? Come to think of it, why are you always wearing the school uniform? We're on vacation, so normally you'd wear casual clothes every once in a while. I was just wondering if there was some reason you don't. Oh yeah, because of all these constant kidnappings, Yumiko is like, become so much more timid and skittish. And also very clearly has the feels for Yuji and is kind of upset. He was initially saying, yeah, I'm only protecting you because it's my job, and not, I'm protecting you because I want to protect you kind of thing. That might change, though. Actually, if history's taught us anything with these routes, that's going to change. He is going to catch feels. Almost assuredly, he's going to be catching feels soon.
緑に私服姿で辺りをうろうろするものではないわ。そういうのは素行の良くない子がすることでしょ。
Then I guess everyone else in our school is a juvenile delinquent in the making, eh?
他の子たちは知らないわ。私は前の学園でそう教えられたからそうしているだけ。人にそれを押し付けるようなつもりもないわ。
I see. Sakaki's grown calm enough to humor me with pointless small talk of this sort. She seems much less tense after several days without violent interruption. Probably because there's no need for constant wariness, the movement of her pencil appears to have grown smoother as well. All of a sudden, her hand stops moving. With a brief exhalation of breath, she glances over at me out of the corner of her eye. What's wrong? You notice something? Turning her face away at my words, Sakaki curls her body forward over her sketchbook. Oh, she thanked. Aww. Her voice is almost small enough to be lost in the wind, but I hear it clearly enough. What was that?
あなたがこうして護衛してくれるから、安心して絵に集中することができるわ。
Sakaki?
いや、というよりも、あなたがいるから。というわけでもないのだけれど。
He was trying to prod her into, like, yelling at him about something. And here she is, like, half confessing. This is suspicious.
また何か。
Well, I mean... A thank you like this from Sakaki of all people? Don't tell me. Is that why nothing's been happening the last few days?
Huh?
I see. It all fits. Sakaki's already been kidnapped and the person sitting in front of me is an imposter. A classic trick, but you just gave yourself away. What have you done with Sakaki? If you're not planning to talk, I'm prepared to... That's the reaction you wanted. Fruitus of Among Us. Hey, Nick. How's it going, buddy? Please don't tell me I spelled... Okay, you made me check my title for a second. I felt like I may have spelled fruit wrong. Hey, Nevermore. How's it going? So weird not seeing ads when I tap on stream. You got that sub for a month now. Enjoy it while you can. Another thing that I believe just everyone could do, just blanket wide if they don't want ads on Twitch. I think it's you pay for Twitch Turbo or something. I think that costs about the same as a tier 1 subscription, or maybe a little under. I'm not sure, but that will give you that. I believe that gives you makes your everything ad free for you for the month. I believe. Don't 100% quote me on that, just because I'm not 100% sure. Doing good at a 4th of July barbecue? Oh, nice, nice. Make sure you get some good burgers, man. Or steak, or whatever the hell your guys are cooking up. I'm alright, just thankful I'm in good health still. It is my birthday next week, and normally I'm ill. Last year I had COVID. Ooh! Yeah, that COVID's not fun. At least from what I've heard and what I've witnessed. Somehow, I never caught it. Despite my mother being a nurse and being around her a lot, i.e. in the same house, and her getting COVID a few times. I don't know how I dodged that bullet. Oh, thankful I am. Hey, Nichols, how's it going? Also, birthday next week. If I'm streaming that day, please remind me. My birthday landed smack bang in the middle of the worst and highest point of being infected with COVID. Oof. That sucks. Not only getting COVID, but getting COVID while on your birthday, too. Ugh. Good, just having the most random dinner ever. Define random. You piqued my curiosity, Nichols. You definitely piqued my curiosity here with that one. Good. I'm using this time to get a little more of a Coke, to get a little of that just sugar and caffeine going so I can stay awake a little longer. Your boy's tired. Even my bosses noticed I was really tired. But I was still working. It's all random leftovers from the past couple of days. So it was half a Crunchwrap Supreme, a taco, a single chicken tender, and a single hash brown. Dessert is spicy dill pickled chips. Amazing. That's just must-go night. That's what that is. It's must-go night. Everything in the fridge, all that leftovers, must go. Gotta eat it or we're throwing it out. You don't want to throw out food. Don't want to waste money. So it's just must-go night. Felt like razor blades going down my throat, just swallowing my own saliva, so I woke up on my birthday aching throat, dehydrated, and crying because I was hungry after not being able to eat anything for 2 days. It's even difficult to drink anything. You streaming next Friday, 14th, because that's when it is. Am I? Am I? I can check. I might be, probably. If it is a Friday, usually I do. Yeah, I am Friday. One of my early morning streams. So I will be streaming that day. So hopefully, we'll see what happens. And hopefully I actually remember. Sometimes I have the memory of a goldfish. Other times, I remember random shit I did as a little kid and still cringe over. Ain't it funny how memory works? Or doesn't? At least we're able to talk with just this nice music going on. Also, sorry to just continue to break this up, but, oh my god, I watched the last episode of Gundam Witch from Mercury, and, why is it gotta be over? Why is it gotta be over? I wish there was more. Also, it ended on a good note, too. It was actually a happy ending. Like, it was actually a happy ending for, like, fucking everybody. Especially our leads. They actually got married, guys. It was fucking, I mean, we didn't see it, but the implication is there and it's fucking adorable. If you're in the Discord, I did post the two pictures that show up at the end of the episode. I only saw the one of them when I watched it. Apparently the other one is there at some other point. But it's too adorable. I love that shit. What a way to technically end Pride Month. Good job, Sunrise and Bandai. You ended off Pride Month on a very high note. And then immediately promoted the most heterosexual Gundam series ever. We're finally giving you the Gundam Seed movie you've been asking for. Oh, God. Whatever. They ended it on a fucking adorable, cute note. I love it. The animation was great. Music was great all around. I love the show. If you haven't watched any kind of Gundam, I would say watch Witch from Mercury. It's short, 24 episodes. You get invested enough in the characters. Even the dub is really good. I've heard some of the dub for some of the more emotional scenes, and the VAs knock it out of the park. Probably even better than in Japan. Like, it's good. So, yeah, if anyone wants to try to watch any kind of Gundam in some format, I would say go with Witch from Mercury. Just because, one, yeah, it is shorter. And also, I enjoy the fuck out of it. Yeah, they're adorable. I love it. I love it so much. This is why I love Gundam. We get all this stuff. Okay, even my giant robots could have some cute shit, okay? I'm a fan of cute shit. I didn't even know that second picture existed until someone on a comment section brought it up. So I found it and I'm like, oh my god. So of course I had to save it as well. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, that's probably all I'm gonna say about Witch from Mercury for now. And also, I want to get into that Gundam model kit that I also posted above it. The last Gundam that showed up in that season, I love the fuck out of it, especially its weapon that actually looks like a fucking broomstick. There's the witch aspect. It looks like it's flying around on a broomstick, but really, it's a giant fuck-off cannon. And booster. I love it a lot. I love it. So, if the normal shop I order my Gunpla from ends up having that one, show up in stock. You know for damn sure I'm buying it, and I'm going to be building it on stream. My first Witch from Mercury kit, and maybe the last. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. Anyway, back to the game, I suppose. Sakaki? Is that you after all?
今の一言で気づくとか本当にバカにしてるのね。
What do you mean by that? I'm only considering every possible scenario, so I can respond to minor abnormalities before...
もういいわよ。お仕事お疲れ様ね。
What are you so angry about? You being a dick. She seemed to be in an unusually good mood just a minute ago, but now she's in full sulk mode. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. She was thanking you, and then you just go, is that really you? Impossible. Yeah, she's being sus. Amugus. God, that's just a part of our vocabulary now, isn't it? I still don't know how to feel about that. For all the severe lectures I've received from JB and others regarding the treatment of women, it seems I still have a great deal of room for improvement when it comes to interactions with females in my own age group, and in general. You got a lot of improvement needed. Sighing ruefully, I closed my eyes for a moment. Honestly, if only the sky would give me a little advance warning. I wouldn't get struck by lightning at such random moments. Oh, Yuji, so very much room for improvement. Yeah. This isn't a needs improvement. This is a must improve. Really looking forward to my celebration. Last year was a barbecue. They had to push it back. I was able to swallow food and drink without much pain. No longer contagious. I still technically had COVID, but it wasn't contagious. But this year, it's indoors and an elegant little... Oh, that's gonna be cute. I like that. Nice little tea party for your birthday. Hell yeah. Yeah, last thing I did for my birthday was an escape room with friends, and then dinner with everyone and some family afterward. That was literally like my whole day. It was fun. Don't know what I'm gonna do next year though. Especially now that I'm in a different, I'm in a different city. Well, I'll figure something out. If I even want to do anything at all. I don't know. I got 8 months? I think I had 8 months to figure it out. I don't know. I got time. I got time to come up with something. I'm a Jane Austen fan, so I've always wanted a proper tea party. The main gift I've asked for is a proper tea set. I'm not really a social person IRL, so a small tea party is perfect. Oh, that's nice. Big or small, so long as it's a party that you want. Nothing wrong with that. I, in all honesty, not very social IRL either. I am very quiet. My next birthday is 30. You're finally gonna join the 30 club, eh, Nichols? Yeah, we got your seat reserved for you. Yeah, me and Jen got your seat reserved for you, right beside us. Yep. I will be 36. Okay! I'll learn something more new. Almost there, not sure how to feel about it yet. Not too freaked out or anything. It's a number at this point. It's just like once you get to 30, it's like it just doesn't matter. At least that's the lie I'm gonna tell myself from now on. Never stressed over your age? I kind of do, only when I look back at some things. Just thinking like, oh my god, that was so long ago, or kind of thing. Like, it's been over a decade since I was in high school. Like, oh my god. The 90s was not 10 years ago. The 90s was literally 30 years ago. What the fuck happened? Figure it's better to be Asian than the alternative. True. Very, very, very true. Very true. Rather age than not, I guess. That's the best way to put it. Rather age than not. Still haven't fixed my phone. I didn't turn off that setting where I can just tap it and the screen turns on, tap again and then it turns off. I need to switch that off, because that's just actually a little annoying. Because I like to play with my phone. I like to just, kind of twirl it around and stuff. It's like my own little fidget device. Only it costs a lot of money per month. And weighs a lot. But it's my fidget device. I used to do it with my full flip phone too. I actually had 2 flip phones. In the age of smartphones, I decided to start off with a fucking flip phone. Now just hold that thing and just twirl it in my hands. Like spin it. I'm weird, okay? Always have been. Always will be. In all honesty, what I wanted out of my life was never time sensitive, so I got a whole lifetime to figure shit out. Is turning an age into something I need to panic over? True, true, true. Yeah, I don't worry about getting things done by a certain age. It's just when I look back, it's just that, oh, what happened? Where did the time go? Like, stuff I've watched on TV and seen in movies are considered, like, retro and vintage almost now, and that just makes me like, alright, give me the shovel. I gotta dig the grave now. And cracking knees definitely doesn't help that. Just hearing that every time I go upstairs, like, yep, I'm older. Body sure as hell ain't as strong as it used to be. But, yeah, it's fine. Been watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and oh my god, it's so dated. Oh god, fucking Buffy. People went nuts for that back then. I feel like if they tried to do a modern reboot of it in a TV show, it would almost certainly bomb. That, or it would be very divisive or whatever, with just older fans saying this isn't real Buffy, and newer fans basically just saying, okay, boomer. The weirdest thing is those dated shows were some people's childhood. A lot of good shows back then never get made today. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a lot of shows that were made when we were youngins and kids definitely wouldn't be made now. A lot of movies we saw when we were younger definitely wouldn't be made now. At least a lot of the humor that's in a bunch of them would most certainly not, be made now. The representation, how sensitive some people are, all the Keyblade War. Yeah. It'll be a lot. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do now. There's gonna be people that are very, very, aggressive in their views about something, no matter what. That's just how it is, unfortunately. There's an episode where a demon gets scanned into the computer and put on the internet. Oh my god. Scanned onto the internet. If you want to know a hilarious thing that actually exists, that's just completely out of nowhere. You know Venom from the comics? You know, a Spider-Man villain sometimes? Yeah, him and Carnage, the other symbiote person. I think for at least one issue, they actually had the power to just go onto the internet and travel the, internet lines. Because that's the thing, apparently a space goop monster can do. That still has a human inside of it, by the way. They may be goopy and monsters, but they still have a person in there. Hey, yeah, they could go onto the internet. They could just travel the internet. Expect them to just make whatever they want in those shows, and it could take months to find out what people think. Yep. These days, one episode comes out and the whole Twitterverse is out for blood if they don't like it. Exactly. All I know of Spider-Man is the ones from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's fair. The comics are just... sometimes they feel a little, impenetrable to get into. There's literally decades of lore just continually built up, and so far, no end in sight, even though they have had a million reboots. Ugh. Which I think is actually starting to hurt comics more now. I don't think comics are actually doing too well nowadays. Hell, even heard of, at least as kind of a somewhat hilarious thing. Some comic book shop somewhere was like, bring in one volume of any manga or light novel or whatever you have, and get one issue of whatever comic book you want. If you really think about it, your standard manga chapter is substantially longer than a single issue of a comic book. Who would take that deal? Have you seen those manga volumes in stores and bookstores and stuff? Those are pretty thick. And I'm gonna give that up for a comic book that is maybe a quarter of the length? No, thank you. Sadly, who reads comics anymore? Part of the Power Ranger fandom, because we're getting more comics than shows. Which, obviously, it's easier to pump out a comic than it is to make an entire show. I read a little manga. I have some light novels. I have a bunch of it I have to still read. It's just been on my to-read list for forever, just like I have a lot of games on my to-play list and a lot of shows on my to-watch list. I have a handful of old Wonder Woman comics, but not much other than that. Yeah, I've got a box of comics. A bunch of really just kind of random ones. But again, comic books are much smaller, actual page count-wise, than, a manga volume. There's so much content in the world, and we have access to pretty much all of it. Yeah. We didn't used to have like this. You can thank/blame the internet for that one. You can 100% thank and hate the internet for it. You gave me all the things I could ever want. Yay! You gave me all the things I could ever want. Fuck! Look at that. I've maybe played 5 minutes of this game, but we're on such a wonderful conversation. Staples of my streams. 5 minutes of content, 1 hour of chat. I like the little. I like the talks though. It's fun. I like these. I have no problem sitting here and just, you know, shooting the shit with you guys for a while. I haven't read Orange High School Host Club, Fullmetal Alchemist, Promised Neverland. Tried to get into Vampire Knight a while back, but it got difficult to get hold of the books. Watch and have all the anime on DVD of Vampire Knight and Orange High School Host Club, though. Okay. I can already tell you, I've seen like 2 episodes of Host Club. Have seen a handful of episodes of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Haven't seen a thing of Promised Neverland. Never watched Vampire Knight. Knew it existed, though. Just knew it existed. Did see a whole bunch of Cardcaptor Sakura. As a child, I did see a bunch of episodes of Cardcaptor Sakura, and its horrible, horrible first dub of Cardcaptors. No, her name's not Sakura Kinomoto. It's Sakura Avalon. Yeah, that's her name. No, that's not her best friend Tomoyo. That's Madison. And now she's not her cousin in this one. Guess what? Cardcaptors has a lot of implied stuff. I always knew her friend's name was Madison. No, it definitely isn't. That's an early dub thing where they actually cut out a bunch of episodes, rearranged the order because they wanted to introduce Lee earlier, but they cut out a bunch of episodes and then have to do really crappy, like, oh yeah, we got this card here, just so they can very, very quickly explain how she has a specific cloud card. There's a lot of issues with Cardcaptors. You should actually, if you wanted to experience more of a more authentic Cardcaptor Sakura, but, you know, dubbed, there is a newer dub out that is a lot more faithful. I can actually remember Medicine's song. It was so beautiful and poetic. I don't remember too much of Cardcaptors. I don't remember too much. I briefly remember something involving them being at the zoo at some point. I remember a plot point of like an entire episode being around like a toy shop that kept selling toys, where the toys kept coming back. Something to do with I think at some point there was a race, and one of them was like bending space to keep having people loop around in the same part of the street like over and over again. Again, it's been literally decades, so... And I'm probably never gonna want to specifically go out of my way to watch Cardcaptors. I'll watch the new dub or just watch the original subbed. I've been meaning to for a while. 'Cause, I mean, Cardcaptor Sakura is kind of a staple of anime at this point. Very iconic. Also, the Cardcaptors dub fucked a few things up. They fucked up one specific thing. I believe they aged up Sakura, but didn't age up her mom. I'm gonna look up the specific thing of what was wrong with the Cardcaptors original dub. Because there's a there's a big problem with that. Sorry, just trying to find it. Excuse me. This is actually hard to find. Wasn't Sakura's dad also her mother's yeah, that's the thing where they really kind of made it really weird. Okay, that's exactly it. Thank you for bringing that part of it up. Yeah, she's supposed to be like a 9 and 10-year-old. I believe the dub aged her up a few more years to make her, like, you know, a young teenager. Like, probably maybe close to, like, 13 or something. But they didn't age up her mom. So her mom was still the same age, and it was already kind of fucked up that it was a teacher-student romance. And now, all of a sudden, they've aged up her and also her brother, technically, as well. So that's just like, ooh. It just gets even worse. Like, even worse. I'm now hunting this down on Reddit just to get it very specific, if I can. Okay, yeah, Sakura's mom was 16 when she married her dad, when her mom married her dad, who was 25, by the way. So a 25-year-old and a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old hook up. And have 2 kids. 2 of them. Yeah, I think you can figure out the big issues from there. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh dear, oh boy. Her mother died at the age of 27 when Sakura was 3. So she had a child at 24, but she had a second child at 24. Let's see, her brother is 16 at the start of the original series. So 16 at the start of the original series. Sakura's 10 at the start. She was 3 when she died, so -7. So -7 from Toya's 16. That makes him 9. Now we take 9 away from 27, and what do we get? What do we get when we take 9 away from 27? So she's an 18-year-old having her first kid after being married for 2 years. And the dub made Sakura older. So that just gets even worse. It gets even worse because they didn't age up her mother in the dub. They just aged up Sakura. Yeah, big yikers. Even just in the normal show as it is, and just as it's supposed to be, people already have issues with it. Jesus Christ, the fucking start of the series, her dad is 43 years old. God fucking mighty. How this man was still able to teach after marrying one of his students, I don't know. And then I got in his Japan, and apparently 16 is the age you can get married at or something, but whatever. Not gonna harp on something that's very old at this point. Regardless. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it's a whole other conversation, and I'm not ready for that. So, I'll just get back to the game, I guess. Plop of water against my forehead brings me back to reality. I raise my head and look up at the sky. Oh, it's raining. Seriously? At some point, it's filled up with angry gray rain clouds. I'd noticed it was looking a little overcast, but I hadn't expected such a sudden and dramatic turn for the worst. Or worse. For a moment, I consider attributing the abrupt storm to Sakaki's out-of-character remarks, disturbing the balance of the universe. But I have a feeling she wouldn't appreciate the gag. No shit. Sakaki immediately begins to push her art supplies back into her tote bag. But the rain, indifferent to our concerns, rapidly intensifies. That Northern High School Host Club is hilarious. Reggie was basically a drag queen. I don't see it in Loud. I adored that guy, especially how he loathed Haruhi's attempting. Okay, of the episodes I saw, yeah, I did catch that and I absolutely loved it. And I love how her dad is just, living his best life. It's like, hi, honey, I'm just a drag queen now. And she's like, yeah, okay. It's like, whatever. You do you, Dad. But he can still put the fear of fucking God into him. You still put the fear of God into anyone who takes interest in his daughter. It's just perfect. It's even funnier in the manga as Haruhi never invites him to anything. Oh my god. With a slightly archaic expression that reveals her for the avid reader she is, Sakaki accurately forecasts an unfortunate future. There's the school opening day, and Ryoju's the last to know after the... Nice. Guess there's nothing for it. let's wait this out over there. I point at the bridge that stands comparatively nearby. It was just part of the scenery up until now, but at the moment it's our best option for a shelter from the rain. Yeah. Come on. I think it'd be best to run. Eating sakaki along the river, I hurry to the bridge as the rain grows steadily stronger. Again, I gotta give it to this game for the sound design of all these little things. Like the Foley. I guess you could just call it the Foley. They're wet-ass footsteps. And all these little things. If a character's running away while screaming, we hear them trailing off. I love that. Also, close your eyes and it sounds like something really inappropriate. Mochi! What's up, buddy? She follows close behind, her bag protectively clutched to her chest. Man, I saw the DM. Yeah, the minute I bought them, I'm like, I gotta let Mochi know. I had to let you know, man. I literally saw it. It's like, wait, the bundle's like $9. There's just those 3 extras. It's like, yeah, fuck it. I can spend $10. Why the hell not? Spend $10. A little more Grisaia. On top of the Grisaia I'm already gonna be playing. I got a lot of Grisaia to go through. It's been over a year since I finished my first route, man. Like I could prove it to you right now. There's the Sakaki save. There's the Michiru save. It's been over a year since I finished Michiru's route. How that happened, I don't know. How did it take me a year to go through 4 other routes? DLC is great, you'll love it. The Grisaia train never stops. Yeah, just, let me know which ones I'm able to play after which games, just so I can, you know, properly plan that out and know. 3 years of finishing other games later. Yeah. Yeah. That's how it goes. I mean, I bought these on top of everything else I want to get done. It just extended... I clearly just extended, me playing through Grisaia by another decade. I think Leisure is the only one you can play right after Fruit. Okay, cool. Good to know. So, yeah, I guess... I don't know, I'll still do the Katawa mod, and then I can go and do Leisure, and then that can lead me right into Labyrinth? Labyrinth is the next one, and then Eden? Or is it Eden, then Labyrinth? I'm not 100% sure right now which comes next. Fruit, Labyrinth, Eden, or Fruit, Eden, Labyrinth? Labyrinth, then Eden? Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Nick. Gamma playing is great. I've officially reached a point where I am further than I ever got in the original. Oh, still Story of Seasons, right? Yeah, you're having, like, just a ball with that game. So there, if anyone wants to play a good, very good farming sim remake of Harvest Moon. Story of Seasons. It's got Nevermore enraptured. So that's one confirmed, you know, 2 thumbs up, I guess. 1, 2 thumbs up. Good job, Baron. That's how that works. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. That's the full title. Yep. If you like Labyrinth, you want to know about Ryuji, plus Labyrinth has after stories of all the fruit routes. Okay, that's cool. I actually do want to know more. I want to know what more happens after all these fucking routes. Like, Jesus. Well, I mean, I don't really want to know more about Machina because we don't know how we feel about Machina. one thing summarizes how we feel about Machina. Right there. That's the only way she's gonna live on in these streams, is through that fucking sound alert. It's the only way she's gonna stick around, is just through throwing up. God, I love that sound alert so much. I'm glad people told me to do it. Here lies Machina. Whenever, though, who fucking cares? Last words. Bleh. Hi, Ruby. Honey. Go lie down, Missy. Go lie down. Oh, God, I can smell dog breath from here. Good lord. Yeah, all my homies hate Machina. Well, she ran away. Oh, she went to go and chew on her antler. She's been working on for a while now. So she's content. And she'll always be content. Also, I have not been going through my quest queue here for a long while. Complete. I gotta do a bunch of these. Holy fuck. So goddamn many. I need to do there. Got that. That one. I only wanted to see her while she sat there. And there. I'll just give you those back. There, I cleared out my request queue finally. I took everyone's points that they used for like the last month or so. Having sprinted all out for 200 meters or so, Sakaki's completely out of breath by the time we reach our shelter. You alright? Get your breathing back to normal, then take a seat and rest for a while. The area under the bridge quickly falls into shadow. Even the faint light trickling through cracks in the storm clouds can't reach us through the heavy iron above. Fortunately, since we're more or less in the country, there isn't much junk littering the area compared to what you'd find in the city. Sometimes an empty bottle or can rolls by on the river, but that's about it. Sakaki and I brush off a light layer of dirt from the bare concrete foundation of the bridge, then settle ourselves down to wait out the storm. As the girl at my side tries her best to wipe the water from her hair with a handkerchief, I examine the state of affairs outside. The streaks of rain have only grown larger and more frequent. There's no sign of it stopping anytime soon. The sky, slightly gray and cloudy only minutes ago, is already a sea of uninterrupted black. Bet I'm banned from the no swearing reward after the last time I cashed it in. I can't ban specific people for using redeem, so you're safe. For now. Oh, God, I fucking fail at that shit. Redeem the thing, start the timer. Alright, let's do this. Fuck! Immediately. I'm awful. I'm awful for that. I got a potty mouth. A very, very bad potty mouth, and no amount of soap will fix that. In a country town like this, they don't even light the streets properly. The area's already grown dark, as if to cerebate on our unease. Oh my god, I noticed it wrong. Would change your mind if I cash it in during gaming like that again? We'll see. We'll see. Usually I do pretty good. Just apparently with Dead by Daylight, that just makes me drop precision F strikes. Just because I fail at doing checks. Whatever. That was actually kind of fun, that game, by the way. I might throw that into another variety week. Which, I mean, I have to plan out July's variety week. So we'll see. We'll see. And finally, there's that familiar roar. Sound that always seems to accompany summer downpours. Thunder can be a frightening thing. I had colleagues with experience on mountain rescue operations who'd cower nervously every time a storm rolled by. Judging from the sound, it's relatively close. Probably best not to move around too much at the moment. Guess we'll have to kill some time here, Sakaki. Turning to my side, I try to make eye contact. She doesn't meet my gaze. Her throat moves. I can hear a faint gulp. Come to think of it, this girl had an unexpectedly fearful side. Should probably reassure her that I can't strike us here. But just as I'm opening my mouth to speak... Okay, she's afraid of thunder and lightning. Alright. Jesus. What the hell happened? What happened in her life to get her like this? I mean, we're probably gonna find out. So now we got the tender music playing. Sakaki Yumiko doesn't let other people touch her. And it's completely unthinkable that she touched them herself. When rain falls on her head, she brushes it off. When wind blows in her face, she forces her way stubbornly through it. That's the person I thought she was. And that's why this doesn't quite feel real to me. Especially after those strangely sweet words of thanks from before. It feels like I've stepped into some oddly realistic dream. I see. Seems you really are quite the scaredy cat, Sakaki. I understood quickly enough. It'd be easiest to pretend that that was the reason. The fact of the matter is, it's hard to blame this on her naturally fearful side. Something else seems to have taken hold of the young woman trembling in my arms. Something powerful and difficult to understand. I wonder if she's like Haruhi in that department. Host club. She was terrified of lightning and thunder because her dad always working. She would always be alone, had no one to comfort her. Maybe. Quite possibly. That's actually a good theory. Not sure Mochi knows the answer, but he's a good guy and he won't spoil this stuff for us. But she's terrified of thunder and lightning. Damn. Sakaki. It's still fairly warm out, but her clothes are wet with rain. Only natural, her body temperature would fall. Oh, sorry, what was the question? Playing Honey Pop on the side? Okay, being a man of culture aside, You would not spoil for us why Sakaki's afraid of lightning, right? Because you're a good dude. A very cultured dude playing Honey Pop. God, fucking Honey Pop. I'll never tell? Good man. Sounds like a pimp or sexy game? Yes. There's a reason it's banned on Twitch. Spoiling VNs takes a special kind of evil. Uh-huh. You are right. Playing through it and 2 again. Nice. Nice. I try to convince myself that's the only reason Sakaki's trembling, but it doesn't quite work. She finally speaks, wringing the words out of her throat. Her voice is frail and utterly weak in a way I never would have thought possible from the Sakaki I know. It was, Kara went on a date with is one of the twins anyway. The guy she was on a date with was a jerk and she stormed off. Tamaki told Kara what Haruhi's fear. She had him in a church. He held her like this and put her headphones over. Aww. Okay, that's sweet. I like that. Well, let's see what Yuji does. And with that, the last of my strained explanations crumble. This is something new entirely. A side of her I've never seen before. Sakaki's cowering in terror. Even menaced by thugs on a daily basis, even when she couldn't completely hide her fear, she went about her business as usual. But that stubborn, prideful, resolute person seems to have melted away. All that's left is a frightened, trembling little girl, clinging to me like a life preserver. If it wasn't for the serious music, I can imagine Yuji be like, "You're getting tears on my new shirt." What the fuck is this noise? Oh, okay. A diesel locomotive passes overhead with a loud, sustained roar. I was wondering what the fuck that was. I thought, like, one of the music clips glitched. Like, what in the hell was that? The water that had gathered on top of the bridge rains down to either side. The very air around us seems to shake. But Sakaki doesn't react. She lies on top of my body, completely motionless except for her trembling, and waits for the thunder to pass. Not a problem. I can't bring myself to ask her anything. There was obviously something behind Sakaki's behavior. It was such a strong reaction that it feels wrong to ask out of mere curiosity. The rain slaps heavily on the bridge above. The wind whistles loudly by outside, sometimes driving water into us from the side. But now that the thunder has passed, Sakaki seems to be gradually regaining her calm. Cuddling close, Sakaki stares up into my eyes. I might look strong to you, but I've never thought of myself that way.
強いわよ。こうやって一人で生きていけているじゃない。私みたいに外に壁ばかり作ってはきりで内側がボロボロな人間と違って。
Oh, shit. On my own, huh?
あなたにこういうことを頼んだ。申し訳ないけど。
What is it? Go ahead.
欲しいことがある。いいかしら。
Am I gonna get Yumiko backstory this stream? I'm seeing some blinking behind your walls. Oh, that's one light. Yeah, that's one of the pot lights. There's two of them down here that are blinking, actually. Sometimes they manage to stay on fully and don't blink. Most of the time, though, they blink. And this isn't just like, alright, change the bulb kind of thing. No, this is a... Oh, if you want to stop it, you gotta change the entire fixture with another one just like it. We have one... There was one spare left over here from the previous owners. Each one costs about $50. We're not exactly in a hurry to replace them yet. So, I apologize for this. There's nothing I can do unless I want to be streaming in the dark. Which, I mean, I technically can do. I do have a light on my webcam. It would just probably look a little weird. Actually, now thinking, maybe if I play any kind of horror-style game, maybe I just will stream with the lights off, just to get that atmosphere. But yeah, so that's actually been going on for quite a while. Yeah, so again, I apologize for that. There's nothing I can really do about it unless I want to spend $50 to change out that entire fixture. And, I kind of have more important things to do than that. Yeah. It's fine with me, I just thought I'd point that out. Yeah, no worries. I don't worry, I know about it. Yeah, it's just a dying, light fixture. Which sucks. If it starts to bug me a lot, though, which it kind of is starting to get there, I may just take the only spare we have and change out that one. Just because it is right there, and I'm constantly seeing it blinking out of the corner of my eye. Hell, a lot of the times I'll just sit here with just all the lights off and do whatever I do on here. One, because, yeah, the blinking is annoying. Two, after working, just coming home from work, it's kind of nice just to sit here in the dark and just kind of... just chilling right out in the dark. It's comfy. I'm probably gonna look into see if those guys go down in price at any point, so I can... So me or parents or whoever, we can just grab a bunch of them. Just so we have, you know, replacements and at least one or two other backups. In case another one decides to die. But if other ones die, hopefully it's the ones in the, like, the living room part of down here and not my desk area. 'Cause I got one directly above me. If that one starts blinking, that'll bug the shit out of me. I'll tell you that right now. This one's off to the side, technically. Off to the side beyond where my desk is. If the one directly above my head decides to start blinking, I'm gonna throw something. I told you before, didn't I? If you want to talk, I'm willing to listen. Sakaki nods. And in that same small, soft tone, she begins to tell me about herself. I'm getting Sakaki backstory this stream. Are you serious? I mean, I'll take it. The rain shows no sign of letting up. Her quiet voice flows past me and dissolves into the deepening darkness. The weakness of those words seems to echo the fragility of the girl in my arms. Yeah, we're going to the past. Summer sun scorched the ground beneath our feet. In the heart of the ancient capital, we walked uphill, following the road away from the station's eastern exit. I was talking, casually, of trivial things. I didn't expect Yumiko backstory time today. I may have to cut this, partially in, depending on how late this goes and how I'm feeling. So far, I'm feeling okay. But, so long as I don't have backstory the length of fucking goddamn Amane, I should be alright. Like, Jesus Christ, like, half her fucking route was just backstory. Looking up at the person holding my hand, I smiled.
So.
In contrast to my cheerful chattering, the woman walking at my side had a clouded expression on her face. I already know the content warning here, so... Oh, okay. Thank you for saying that, actually. Thank you, Nick. That actually is very handy to know. Thank you. Okay. Alright, content warning, everyone. Further Grisaia deals with some very heavy topics and situations. I still haven't fixed that part of the command yet. If at any moment you feel uncomfortable watching, and need to walk away or close the stream, please do so. We all understand. I'm not gonna, I can't predict this game really at all anymore, so I can't make customized content warnings anymore. So I'm just doing a blanket one. I've been doing a blanket one for a little while now. A lot of you who have been watching do know. But for anyone new, just a blanket content warning. Especially when we get into these backstories, some real heavy shit kind of goes down. So yeah, if anyone feels uncomfortable at all by what is happening, you don't have to say anything. If you need to get up and walk away or mute the stream or any of that, it's all good. I can't predict this game anymore. That's why Grisaia is the GOAT. Oh my god, Mochi. So yeah, thank you. So honestly, thank you, Nick, for saying just that. I already know the content warning here. So thank you. So now I can go for just the rest of Yumiko Route streams. I can put the content warning in the title, just the command CW. So thank you very much. I learned my mistake from Blue Sky's Yuri route. Oh, good lord. That was uncomfortable. We were not prepared for that. We were not prepared for that at all. Okay, good to know. I'll keep that in mind if it gets in that territory. To briefly list off the stuff we've listened to before and had happened in the other routes, we've had, well, back in... I guess going back from the latest to the oldest route we've done. We have had... father shot and murdered in front of their young daughter while he slowly dies and talks to her, and then she's stuck with him, like, to his rotting corpse for, like, a week or two. Route before that, bus accident that lasted like 2 weeks with the girl slowly becoming more and more emaciated and dying and then eventually eating each other. A route before that, someone watched their parents get run over in front of them. And how that fucked up their psyche. And then, my best girl, Michiru. Oh, fucking Christ. First off, let's go through the last dying moments of some other random girl. And then we'll go to, alright, our main girl we're focusing on got her heart in a heart transplant, and her mind came over with it. So in her child logic to get rid of this other voice in her head that came from this heart she figured out, let's just take a box cutter and chisel it out. Ugh. A lot of shit goes down. A lot of shit goes down. So I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen now. It isn't too heavy, it isn't so bad with just the descriptions of the stuff. It's also when they add the sounds to everything as well. That's, I think, what makes this a little more than usual. It's again, the sound design is great, but holy shit is it great. In that kind of way. Hey Michael, how's it going? You show up, showed you at my house and said there was going to arrest me for downloading the entirety of Wikipedia. I said I can explain everything. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's see what this brings us. It's a joke, I'm on the right side of the law. Oh my god. I know it's a joke. Yeah, how you doing, by the way? Her profile was beautiful but cold. Almost like that of a marble statue. It's good. Dark here in Denmark? Oh, fun. Not dark here in Canada, at least not yet. The sun is still somewhat out. Somewhat. And we go down soon. So who has won the little war between Canada and Denmark? I believe that is still going on. I don't know who currently has Greenland. I don't know who. But yeah, that's definitely still going on. I love that. It's like the most like a wholesome, petty little thing. I love it. Yeah, I'll just change the flag. Oh, it's an island beside Greenland? Okay. I'm actually gonna find out who has that right now. Ah, yeah, the Whiskey War. Oh, it's over. It ended back in 2022, apparently. Well, that's sad. 1984, Canadian soldiers provoked Denmark by planting a Canadian flag on the side and leaving a bottle of Canadian whiskey. Danish Minister of Greenland Affairs came to the island himself a year later with a Danish flag and a bottle of schnapps, and a letter stating, "Welcome to the Danish island." Two countries were to take turns planting their flags on the island and exchanging alcoholic beverages. Their There have also been Google ads used to promote their claims. Both countries agreed on a process in 2005 to resolve the issue which finally settled in 2022. This minor border dispute is often considered humorous between the two nations, with diplomats displaying good humor. Despite the serious official nature of the matter, the manner in which the conflict was prosecuted was lighthearted, demonstrated by the length of time taken to settle the dispute, if nothing else. Both nations are on friendly terms and are also founding members of NATO. The change in landmass area of Canada is insignificant compared to Denmark's small surface area. The resolution also had the side effect of giving Canada and Denmark a land border with each other, which means that both countries no longer border only one other country. Yeah. Neat. Okay, so we divided the island. We split it in half. We just split it in half. It's like it's both ours. We took the King Solomon approach. just cut it in half. If all wars fought that way, yeah, just put a flag there and some booze. It's like mine. Come back. No, it's mine. Just continue. Oh, so the island is a divorced. Yeah, the island's a divorced child, I guess. God, that's an awful way to say it. Hi, honey. Yeah, that's what they went with. It's a nice story, though. I like that. It's a nice little, fun little story. Wait, how did this exactly start? Oh, Hans Island. 1.3 kilometers in size. Damn. A barren island, uninhabited. Canada and Denmark signed an agreement through the United Nations. The agreement set out a delimit of the continental shelf between the two nations. This was influenced by the maritime boundary line, which fell almost directly down the middle of Hans Island. Though the agreement was passed by both nations, there was still a long-standing dispute between the two nations. It was seen as low priority from the Canadian side. The Canadian Special Senate Committee on the Arctic meeting was held, where the conflict was deemed almost insignificant. Oh my god. Yeah, I can see that. It's just, like, not exactly on a high priority for us. I hope we like this nice walking sound we've got going on for this. But hey, it's been settled. We split the island. I'll make you a bet that it's still gonna kind of pop by there and at the very least leave booze for, you know, the other country still. I wouldn't stop doing that. That's just adorable. I love that. It's fun. That is how you know you build relations. Small little things like that. And hey, Canada and Denmark border each other now, technically, thanks to that little island. We have a land border. I'll take it. Ruby! What? Go lie down, miss. Go lie down. Silly girl. Go lie down. Go. Go lie down. Oh, if not, the U.S. is joining with some weapons of mass destruction from Taco. Oh my god. We're gonna keep Taco Bell far away from that island. We dare not desecrate it with that. Or from Chipotle. None of that. We're only exchanging bottles of booze. That's all. Let's just keep it that way. Nice and simple.
Same words, repeated in the same tone, as if she was playing back a recording. Not understanding what that signified, I continued to speak. That trivial little event must have made me very happy, because I just kept on talking. Sentence flowed into sentence with barely a pause for breath in between. Matching the rhythm of my skipping steps, I pattered on faster and faster, filled with innocent excitement.
あのね、ユミコ。
First, her feet came to a stop. And without turning to look at me, her face still in profile, my mother finally answered.
ごめんね。ちょっと静かにしててくれるかしら。
Her quiet voice emerged, only to melt away into the squawking of the cicadas. Two pleasures, the skipping and the conversation, abruptly taken from me. I hesitated uncertainly, not sure where to direct my gaze. But soon, I found a clear path forward, and my hesitation gave way to a reply.
ごめんなさい、お母さん。
It was the phrase, "I'm sorry." How many times I had spoken those words by now? Even when I'd done nothing wrong, even when I'd done nothing at all, those words offered an exit from any uncomfortable moment. And above all else, they lightened the burden on my mother's heart. Mumbling those words had always been the best that I could do at times like those.
ごめんね、ユミコ。
And my mother, in turn, offered me the same soft words of apology. In retrospect, it might very well have been her fault that I developed a habit of relying on the words, "I'm sorry." She spoke the phrase so frequently, it was probably only natural that I'd begun to imitate her.
行きましょう。
Cold profile, a rigid face, locked in position, never turning to me. Speaking a few words with nothing but a slight movement of her lips, my mother began to walk once more, her strides even smaller than usual. I'm playing Civilization against my brother and I am destroying him with nukes and A-10 attack plane attack. Nice. With a nod, I stepped forward at my mother's side, slipping halfway under the shadow cast by her parasol. As the shade swayed with her steps, the blazing sun flicked before my eyes like a movie shot on cheap film. We walked in silence through the midsummer heat, surrounded by the voices of cicadas. I squeezed my mother's hand tightly, very tightly, as if that connection was the only thing in the world I could rely on. My mother, Misako, was born into the Kawamoto family, owners of a real estate business in the ancient city of Kamakura. After graduating from university, she accepted an arranged marriage to my father, Sakaki Michiaki. She was 25 years old. The Kawamoto were small-time landowners, and their business had fallen into financial problems. When their only daughter married the young president of the East Beach Railways, a company that had taken complete control of the regional railroad network, the Kawamoto family treated it as a miracle comparable to winning the lottery.
お帰りなさいませ。
ああ。
He's gonna be a dick as a father, just in general, isn't he?
あなた、お食事は？
もう済ませた。いつものことを毎度毎度聞くんじゃない。着替えは？
Oh, Christ.
はい、用意してあります。
すぐに支度する。30分後に出るから玄関に出して小島に渡しておいてくれ。
My father was a complete workaholic with more than one house to return to.
Jesus.
He only came to see us once a week, and never stayed longer than an hour. At that point, I hadn't so much as held a conversation with him. All I could remember were brief moments of eye contact in the hallway when we passed each other by. If we know the multiverse is if there's a spider monkey, will its uncle be Harambe? God.
Probably. That's all I can say there. Just probably.
I can still remember the way he looked at me. There was no emotion in his gaze, not even contempt. Almost as if he didn't even realize something was there. His eyes were frighteningly empty. My room in that house was pointlessly large. Spacious as it was, it hadn't been made for a child to live in. The bed and closet were both adult-sized. For the most part, it looked like nothing more than just another guest room. A child's desk, a haphazardly purchased assortment of stuffed animals and toys. These were the only objects that suggested otherwise, and they felt deeply out of place.
Yeah, I mean, if you're tired, man, go ahead. Like, I'm no reason to keep yourself up. I say that as I yawn.
どんな挨拶をしたらお父さん返事してくれるのかな?
Oh no, I really hope this isn't going where it looks like it is going. We'll see what happens.
I stood in front of my mirror, practicing many different facial expressions, earnestly thinking over a problem with no solution.
どんな顔をしたらお父さんは帰ってきてくれるのかな?
Alone in a room far too large for me, I thought about the stone-faced father I barely knew. How could I catch his attention? How could I make him realize I was even there?
おはようございます。おはようございます。おはようございます。違うのかな？どうなのかな？おはようございます。おはようございます。おはようございます。
Within that staid and conservative railroad family, a daughter bore little weight. My mother's marriage had seemed a blessing for the Kawamoto family, but when she gave birth to me, it quickly became an uncomfortable topic. Her job had been to give birth to an heir to inherit the East Beach Empire. Instead, she had produced a daughter, at best a potential tool for political marriage. No one was to blame for that, but it was still a deep disappointment to those around her. My father had treated his new wife very kindly at first, but after I came into the world, and he learned that my mother was too physically frail to endure many pregnancies, he became noticeably brusque and distant. Or brusque.
Oh, okay. Yep, I hate him. It's like, I wanted a son. You gave me a disappointment. Great. I hate the guy even more now.
That transformation must have hurt my mother deeply. After it began, she grew gradually weaker in body and spirit, until finally she could no longer manage to take care of father's personal needs. My mother returned to her parents when I was 6 years old. She had endured as best she could, desperate not to leave a bad impression on my father's family, But my mother was fundamentally a sheltered and fragile woman. Putting aside her physical condition, her mind had been worn down to the point where she simply could no longer cope.
A distant jackass hate him. Yep. Yep. Oh, what are you? A disappointment? Does look like I'm going the direction of her fear being just like, oh boy. Well, we'll see what happens. We not even get to it yet.
And so, one hot midsummer day, she gathered her luggage, took my hand, and left the Sakaki house.
ただいま戻りました。
ああ、おかえり。
おかえりなさい。
It wasn't a joyous homecoming for anyone involved. After an exchange of indescribably uncomfortable greetings, they began an equally awkward conversation.
美佐子、体の具合は？
大丈夫です。何もありません。
それならしっかり治して道明さんのためにも早く戻ってあげないとね。
はい。
It was obvious at a glance that my mother couldn't possibly go back anytime soon. Still, my pragmatic grandparents wanted their daughter back with the Sakaki family before the wound of separation grew too deep. My mother may have wanted to return herself, even knowing that she was no longer capable of enduring that life. There was a slight edge of frustration in her voice as she vaguely affirmed my grandparents' words.
お母さん。
They left me out of the conversation so completely that I began to feel invisible. In the end, I couldn't help but call out. When I spoke, my mother's hand twitched around mine, as if only just realizing that she'd been pulling me along at her side. As if she'd been trying to forget an unpleasant reality by averting her eyes from it.
由美子、おじいちゃんとおばあちゃんにご挨拶なさい。
Still not looking in my direction, my mother muttered those words quietly.
おじいちゃん、おばあちゃん、こんにちは。
I tried out the greeting I had practiced for Dad and my grandparents.
ああ、こんにちは。
こんにちは。
Their responses were stiff and awkward. They didn't so much as smile at me. It had already been decided that my mother would be hospitalized. Originally, the doctors had recommended admitting her to a psychiatric ward, but her return home under the cloud of a separation would no doubt become the subject of gossip in the area. Who knew what people would say about a mental illness on top of it all? Oh, great. Instead, Mom returned home under the superficial cover of poor health and entered a general hospital. My grandparents had been busy enough with their struggling business. Now they had new burdens on their hands, and they made no attempt to hide their exhaustion. The complaining began on the very first day.
かわいそうに。生まれたのが女の子じゃなかったら。
おい、やめないか。
だってあなただっておっしゃってたじゃありませんか。せっかくの機会だったのに台無しになってしまったって。
I hate her fucking grandparents now too. Jesus, does everyone in her family suck shit?
それはそうだが。
だから女の子だって分かった時にお医者様に強く言ってでもやり直しをすればよかったのですよ。
美佐子の体が持たないことはお前も分かっていたじゃないか。
でも
During the years I spent living with my mother's family, my grandparents never showed me anything like affection. In retrospect, I was an unwanted burden, a symbol of failure. I suppose they hardly had any reason to welcome me. But even so, it was a form of cruelty. Does everyone in her family suck shit? Now you're getting it. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Oh, great. So Yumiko's got the worst family in existence. Besides, Machina. We're literally willing to fucking, you know, put out a hit on their own daughter.
美佐子も入院するし、由美子を学校に通わせないといけないし、どうしたらいいんだか。
Send her to school. You think Machina's mom was bad? Picture being in this family. Fuck. Never got to see the delight that was Tamaki's grandmother. She called him a half-breed because his mother was French. Tamaki was Japanese on his dad's side, but French on his mother's. When high school host club got really dark in the manga for a while. That, unfortunately, is just a big thing in Japan. It's just a lot of, usually older Japanese people don't like foreigners very much. Like, there are even just some places in Japan that are just, like, not for foreigners. Like, Japanese people only. And they will not treat, you know, they won't treat anyone who isn't Japanese very well at times. It is slowly starting to change, though, because, well, the older generation is, you know, the older generation, it is slowly starting to, you know, die and pass. And the newer generation is a lot more, well, you know, welcoming. As I mean, you gotta remember, in Japan's history, for a very, very long time, they were an isolationist nation. They did not let anybody in. They kept to themselves and wanted to keep to themselves. They didn't want anyone going in there, and very rarely, I think even very rarely, they themselves left. To be fair, they've had amazing tourists like Logan Paul. Oh my god, dude. We were like a few days into the new year and he pulled that shit. Yeah, there's a lot. Just a lot. You know what? The fact you don't know is probably a good thing. Just YouTuber, a fairly big YouTuber who decided in his great almighty wisdom to let's go to Japan's suicide forest and take a video in there, and then oh hey look, this one is still kind of blue. He must have, like, just hung himself. Yeah. He decided to film in the fucking... He decided to film in the fucking suicide forest and filmed and talked about, in a joking manner, a dead body. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing that happened. If you've seen any picture of some blonde-haired guy wearing a LGM hat from Toy Story, that's him. Also, the face behind Crypto Zeus skin. Oh. Yeah, I don't even want to get into all that at all. Basically, just the fact you don't know is for the best, in all honesty. It is just for the best. You don't have to worry about being completely aware of this person's existence and the shit they pull.
Oh, God.
榊の家からは生活費も出ているのだからそれでいいじゃないか。
よくありませんわよ。会社の方が当座の資金にも苦しい状況なのに、あなたどうしてそんなにのんきなことを言っていられるんですか？
おい、そんな言い方はないだろう。
The two of them seemed to quarrel virtually every minute of every day, right until I left the house.
Okay, so I Googled on my phone, he's such an asshole. Yep, there we go. And now we apologize for bringing that knowledge to you.
They were considerate enough not to behave this way around my mother, but their unwanted grandchild was a different story. Raw emotions flew back and forth as if I wasn't even there.
お犬さん、可愛かったな。
When I was inside the house, I couldn't help hearing unpleasant conversations. It was a small mercy that we had one of the spacious gardens so typical in country towns. I'd always slip out there when I saw my grandparents talking with serious expressions on their faces. I passed the time scratching on the ground with tree branches. Those scribbles in the dirt became an escape, a portal to a vague, faraway world.
いつお家に帰るのかな。
Recalling what I'd seen through the window that day, I moved the point of my tree branch through the soil. Recalling my few happy memories, I drew them out one by one, over and over, hoping to make them even slightly more vivid in my mind. My drawing improved quickly in pursuit of a clear and unmistakable exit from reality.
God damn, this is just gonna kind of keep going, isn't it?
I carefully combed my shoulder-length hair and tied it back with a rubber band. I hadn't particularly been trying to grow it out, but once I understood that haircuts cost money, I'd simply allowed things to take their own course. Not to imply that my grandparents were keeping me in rags. They were far too vain for that. I always had the minimum necessary to look respectable. But ever since I'd grown old enough to understand my position, it was difficult to muster the slightest interest in fashion. I opted for plain, dark clothes. The more inconspicuous, the better. My hair fell straight to my shoulder in the simplest possible style. As a child, I wanted nothing more than to be noticed. But at some point, I began to seek refuge in my own anonymity. It seemed safer to be ignored.
行ってきます。
Pausing under the weathered eaves, I offered a farewell to no one in particular, then walked off alone. I had grown tall. I was wearing a middle school uniform now. Nobody had commented on either fact.
A good impression of Nemo saying anemone. Anemone. I legitimately got just tripped up by that.
Ever since arriving at that place, I had been alone. There were always people in the house, but I was alone.
由美子嬢ちゃん、今日のお弁当ですよ。
This is either someone really nice or someone being a fucking prick.
ありがとう、トシエさん。
As I left the house, I found Toshi-san waiting outside.
Okay, so I guess they're somewhat of a nicer-ish person.
Toshi-san was an old woman who had looked after my grandparents' family for many years as their housekeeper. Even when the business fell in hard times and could no longer afford the expense, she stayed in the house next door, taking care of us without any compensation. I wasn't her employer, but she always called me Miss in a kindly tone of voice. She was the only person in my life who showed me real affection.
制服なんだか恥ずかしいな。何を言いますか。嬢ちゃん、よう似合ってますよ。
At least she got one positive, adult.
ありがとう。そんなこと言ってくれるの、としえさんだけよ。嬢ちゃん。それじゃあ、行ってきます。
I didn't talk with anyone at my middle school. Or rather, I couldn't. It was an insular place where relationships had long since been firmly established, often mirroring the connections between parents. Someone abruptly wedged in from the outside had very little hope of fitting in. Much less for a quiet girl who had moved out to the country under circumstances like mine. None of the other children were friendly to me. I knew they talked about me behind my back. But after the years I'd spent alone with my grandparents, I suppose I'd grown used to such casual disdain. My student life didn't feel particularly painful. It was merely empty. I filled the vast stretches of empty time by drawing pictures. It was a habit I'd picked up as a means of escaping into fantasy, but as I came to accept reality, the images changed gradually into simple landscapes. Not to say that I was viewing things more positively now. I'd simply grown numb. The contents of my drawings mattered less to me than the time I could kill moving pencil over paper. I no longer looked for meaning in the art itself. My grandfather had a pile of empty sketchbooks, abandoned from the days when he had the time to pursue his hobbies. I made a rare request and took them as my own. Day in and day out, I filled their pages with dull landscapes. With mechanical movements, I drew hollow images of a hollow world. When school ended, I would make my way over to the hospital where my mother was staying. The hospital was further from my grandparents' house than my middle school. To reach it, I had to walk a good 2 kilometers, first descending a slope, then climbing back up. Both ways, in the rain, during a snowstorm. I didn't have a bicycle, and asking for bus fare would have been unpleasant, so I always traveled that road on foot. Of course, it wasn't pleasant, but I developed an obstinate streak in my own right. Okay. That hike had become part of my daily routine.
あら、榊さん。こんにちは。
A familiar nurse called out to me as I walked down a familiar hallway.
こんにちは。今日はお母さん、朝から具合もいいみたいよ。ご飯もちゃんと食べてるし。そうですか。こうやって榊さんが毎日お見舞いに来てくれるからね。きっと。そんなことは。
I'm sorry, I need to actually 100% look this one up, because there's no way I can fumble my way through that one. It's probably equivocatively... Fucking... Equivocating? Okay. Oh boy. Big words.
Equivocating with a weak smile, I nodded to the nurse and walked away. My mother's condition was always seesawing from improvement to setback. It wasn't the sort of disease that could be cured with some wonder drug. And in Mother's case, the doctors didn't entirely understand the causes of her illness, or even the reasons she wasn't healing. There was no clear path to a complete recovery. By that point, I understood that my existence had a great deal to do with her sickness. My visits couldn't possibly be helping her. It was probably just doing the opposite. I walked rapidly toward room 301 in the A ward. There was a part of me that thought those visits were pointless. But without them, I would have lost the only thing I had left. My origins. Even as I isolated myself behind an inconspicuous appearance, in that one place, I desperately sought some kind of connection.
I'm thinking I'm gonna end, after I finish this conversation with her mom, I'll probably just save and end the stream there. Because these backstories love to just go on forever. I'm gonna rewatch this again. Steak is here. Enjoy the steak, man. Enjoy the hell out of it. How do you take your steak? How do you take your steak, Nick? You'll definitely have to wait till next stream to finish this backstory. I figured as much. That's how I can never get through the backstories in one stream.
My mother had been given a private room. The hospital's administrator was an old acquaintance of my grandfather, so it had been arranged at a considerable discount. Or so our gossipy neighbors believed. It was a pure white room, largely empty except for the plain medical bed standing by the window. My mother passed her days laying there. There was no medical reason she couldn't go out, but she never tried.
Yumiko. 今日も来てくれたのね。
My mother greeted me with the most convincing smile she could force onto her face. But that face didn't turn toward me.
今日は具合がいいってさっき看護師さんが。
Setting up a folding chair at her bedside, I began to speak. Her physician had asked me to fill the visits with conversation. Even the silliest little things will do. Just keep talking to her, please.
ご飯もちゃんと食べられてよかったね。
But I filled every moment with silly chat for a different reason entirely.
そう。それでね。
The conversation was almost entirely one-sided. My mother's responses were mostly monosyllabic. It was difficult to tell if she was even listening. Even so, I continued to chatter away.
今日もいい天気だね。
Eventually, I ran out of things to talk about and changed the topic to the weather out of desperation. But by then, even the monosyllabic responses had trickled to a halt. Time flowed by in silence. 1 minute of stillness. 3. 5. Finally, my mother slowly opened her mouth to speak. Even before the words came, my body twitched in alarm.
ごめんね。本当に。お母さんこんな。
Oh, yo.
そんなこと。
When my mother spoke to me, it was always to deliver an apology. That was why I babbled away so persistently. I didn't want to give her the chance to speak.
今日はもう帰るね。そう。
Folding the chair with a few practiced movements, I leaned it against the small shelf on the wall.
それじゃあまた明日。
I came to this place in search of connection, and every day I went home with nothing but disappointment. To be honest, those visits were painful for me. Sometimes I thought about how much nicer it would be to just stop coming entirely. But without my faint connection to my mother, I would be adrift in a sea of nothingness. I had no choice but to hold stubbornly to that single lifeline. I wasn't under any illusions that my conversations with Mom were doing her any good. In fact, her physician had begun to indirectly allude otherwise.
You do a stupid voice for so long, and then you can't speak normal words again. Good lord.
Something along the lines of, "You don't have to come every single day, dear." But I was afraid. What if my mother didn't recover? What if I abandoned her now? She might not take me with her when she returned to our old home. I didn't have many pleasant memories of that place, but at least there I was something other than an object of scorn. At least there I had something like an identity. And I couldn't return unless my mother took me with her. I hated myself for those selfish thoughts, but I didn't stop visiting. Pushing everything that had brought us there out of my mind, I clung stubbornly to that childish hope of a happy ending awaiting around the corner.
Yeah, you ain't getting that happy ending. I can almost guarantee that at this point. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to save after that conversation. And we can continue this next time. When is next time? Well, we're going to find out very, very shortly after I change the source of this image from the old schedule to the new schedule, which I believe is this bad boy. Oh, hey, Pizza! Aw, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Poor timing. Just poor timing. That's okay. There's still plenty of other days with plenty of other streams. And next time, trust me, no worries, no worries. So, I had to update the schedule because tomorrow is now my day off instead of, well, Thursday. And now I'm working Friday. So, I changed the schedule, as you can, so plainly see. Wonderful phone editing. 10 out of 10, if I say so myself. So, tomorrow now is going to be Digimon Survive at 10 a.m. And it'll still be Digimon Survive Thursday, and Friday will now be Fruit of Grisaia. So, there's our modified schedule for the rest of the week. Not that big of a change, but still a change nonetheless. And, also, just, again, a reminder, next week. Next week. Let me look at my schedule I have for that week myself right now. But I'm not showing you guys just yet. Yeah, alright. Just remember, everybody. Next week, we got a certain something happening. Certain something. Something special is finally starting. Whatever could it be? Oh, I don't know. But, yeah. Just gotta eye out on that. Basically, wait for Friday and you'll find out what the fuck I'm talking about. It's gonna be something that's been about a year in the making. I can never make it to your morning streams. They're mid-afternoon for me. That's okay, Nevermore. I appreciate it when you're able to get around. If you can just do the afternoon streams I do, that's perfectly fine by me. Having you guys around even for a short amount of time is, you know, I appreciate it a hell of a lot. I always appreciate that stuff. I appreciate you guys a lot. I wouldn't be streaming as much as I do if it wasn't for you guys, honestly. This is a nice, fun little hobby, and having you guys just come in here, even just to say even just one message, just to watch and not say anything at all, it makes it all 100% worth it. Because I love doing this. I want to do this for as long as I can. As long as you guys will keep watching. I know what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna do a raid. Who are we gonna raid? Why, we are going to raid the wonderful Oracle. One of the very few times I'm actually able to raid her. So, I'm gonna take it. She is currently playing through Breath of the Wild. She's trying to get it done in a month, because that's how long a friend who's loaning her the game gave her. So, yeah. Fun times. So, we got our wonderful raid messages. Choose whichever one you'd wish to use, whether you're a follower or subscriber. Either one is fine. But, anyway. Thank you, everybody, for watching, commenting, and lurking. I appreciate it very, very much. I will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for some Digimon Survive. So, I hope you all have yourselves a great rest of your night. And let's send Oracle some love.